You know, last week the federal government released a report that the country is now spending more servicing debt than what was earmarked. Is Nigeria broke?
So the warning has been there, but what it means that now we have got the point where you need to borrow to pay. You need to borrow to borrow. That's the meaning. You need to borrow to borrow. That means when you borrow, you first of all use it to pay the one you are owing. Then you now qualify to borrow.
So where does that leave us as a nation right now, economically?
It means you are getting close to crisis. Remember, about 1 year ago, a few quarters ago, we came here and we warned that we are getting to crisis. Some people sent me private messages to say, Mr. Chukwu, don't be so alarmist that we still had a...
Messenger of doom.
So they always think so. One negative thing I discover in our country is that we have not, as they say, civilization. If it's civilization, we have not civilized enough to know issues that are partisan and issues that are for everybody. There are partisan issues we agree. How should my party win? That is allowed. There are multi-partisan issues. That means you may be in different parties, but this issue affects all the parties.
Like the traffic that's caught you this morning.
Yes. There are multi-partisan issues. There are across the table issues. But there are sacred issues that are far beyond and above politics.
Power, security, economy, food.
Like now,
health,
no matter if a government
education.
if a government borrows, whether the government that borrowed is good or bad, the next government is obliged to that obligation, to pay back
the debt.
To pay. So there are a lot of things, which means what is lacking in this country? I have not seen a mechanism. Nobody has cared to say, is there any time leaders meet not on partisan basis? Are there issues that say if this issue comes up, not one party will decide it, or there will be a multilateral, there will be a multi-party discussion on it? Have you seen where the party in waiting or the party that's struggling for power, has there been at any point where is there any meeting forum where all of them meet?
No, but even the ones in office, do they meet, and is there any solution from the meetings or the committees or the... Because they have all these things
so
they say.
I'm saying that it now the implication of my worry is that any person that says economy is bad is seen as opposition person. You see what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
We don't have a time when we say, at this
so
point,
collectively deal with this
agree.
issue that affects all of us. As we're on strike, everybody come on board. Let's see what deconstruct.
So
and
if
get
ASU is on strike, it's a Buhari issue. It was a Jonathan issue. It was an Obasanjo issue.
But all of us are affected.
So even if are you aware when fuel subsidy was to be removed in 2011, 2012, the party, all the governors met. It was a party issue. All the governors met and agreed to remove subsidy and stand by it. Now, what happened? Immediately, subsidy was removed by the Jonathan administration. Maybe he removed it. The then opposition party went and said that, and went and attacked the ruling party to say, you are making the people to suffer. But you see, they all had agreed. But when it became more romantic to be in support of, to be against removal of subsidy. So immediately they did so. Some things we heard from the grave as something terrible was about to happen. The party in power now rushed and they returned the subsidy.
No, but that's where political will should have come in. And that's where communication, I think they failed primarily communicating to the people that this is what it is. And again, that also shows that the people have lost trust in this is over 10 years ago. If there was trust, then it would have been different.
But it is that part that agreed for removal of subsidy, and now won the heart of the people by sympathizing with the masses, and being against falsely and being against removal. The moment that party came up to say we're against removal, and whose governor signed for removal, they now politically or partisanly became in support of the masses. They won the heart of the masses, and from there rode to power and won. That same party is now struggling. They have removed it impartially, removed from backdoor, return it, and they are now, as me and you are talking, they are now talking about 6.7 trillion needed to service subsidy. So you can see that that they are paying a price of what they did in 2011-12. If the nation, not on partisan basis, if the nation stood for removal, they would have all been insulted and sent time. But they left the insult to one side and enjoyed. Now that it's their turn, to convince Nigerians is now more difficult than it was in 2011.
Okay, let's talk about Forex, because over the weekend, on Friday, I was trying to make some, investigation, and I found that there was scarcity. That's what they told me at the black market. That there was scarcity, and within an hour, the dollar had added 10 naira, or the naira had dropped by 10 naira.
Okay.
Yeah. So what could be going on? Because the CBN had said that they were going to stop giving money to bureau de change, and at that point everything sort of normalized. But this is months down the line, and everything's gone crazy again.
Remember that time also we met here, and we said fundamentally inflow of foreign exchange and outflow supposed to have a balance for any nation. And that remember that this naira, dollar, everything we're talking about is exchange of value. So if the value you send out of your country
in terms of goods and services,
goods and services, is not matching the value that comes in terms of goods and services, because this value is coming in when you hire experts to work at construction sites, to work at all risks, work at any level. Those experts are paid in hard currency. Then you also import goods.
And when you send your children to school abroad,
when you send your children abroad, as we were talking about, as you said, is 1.5 trillion. So when you move 1.5 trillion naira, but you have that 1.5 trillion naira for education services, we go and chase dollar to pay. You're not going to pay in naira. So when you enter the market to buy 1.5 trillion in every year, dollar will be scarce. So it means that, and by the time you buy, then those who want to manufacture items, to buy equipment and the raw materials, they buy. By the time we all buy all these things, there's no way dollar will not be scarce. So what I'm trying to say is that when the imbalance is against you, any other thing your central bank is doing is fighting, is the fire brigade.